These lithium batteries are so tiny and shiny, as you might imagine, kids are drawn to them. They're in many homes, probably in yours. They're in your watches, they're in hearing aids, they're in electronics. So safety experts from Cincinnati Children's Hospital and some new moms took some time today to show us how something so small can lead to something really big to a baby.
That's a lady that got you a pretty blanket.
Little Annabelle Elizabeth is 7 months old. What does she try to put in her mouth right now?
Everything. Everything she can find. It goes whoop right there.
Her mom, Allison Burke, says Annabelle likes to chew on colorful, shiny things, which generally include everything from toys to toy remotes.
It's this remote, however, that may be more of a concern, because in many of these remotes there are these tiny batteries. They're so little, we often call them button batteries.
If button batteries are swallowed, injury prevention specialist Dawne Gardner says they can sometimes be seen passing through the digestive tract.
But if it gets stuck and it goes undetected, and it could be there for less than 2 hours, it starts to burn, and that burning continues, and the longer that it's in there, the more serious it gets.
Gardner showed us with this hot dog demonstration how that happens. In just a few hours, when you open it, that burn is significant.
So just imagine that being stuck in a child's throat. The child can't tell you what's going on. That burning is continuous, and it's starting to burn layers.
As this video, courtesy of Children's Hospital, shows, that's exactly what happened to little Emmett a few years ago, who luckily recovered.
And he underwent 5 reconstructions of his esophagus, and eventually a trach was placed a year later.
Little Brianna, however, this toddler from Oklahoma, not so lucky. As this GoFundMe page for her funeral expenses shows, she lost her life, according to her parents, shortly after Christmas due to complications from ingesting a button battery. Both Brianna's family and Emmett's now are trying to raise awareness of this tiny danger. They hope that when tiny babies such as Annabelle are around items that contain button batteries, they do what her parents try to do every day.
The smaller stuff we definitely try to keep out of her reach.
Easy to say sometimes and hard to do. Now, these are in a lot of items. They're in those singing greeting cards, remotes, key fobs. I want to show you a couple things. The really tiny ones, those are in hearing aids, and they say sometimes even older adults swallow them thinking that they're pills.
Oh, no.
So just a word of caution if you have older parents. You want to see the hot dog? I just had to show you. It's hard to...
It's disgusting.
Yeah, you don't want to look at it, but boy, does it show you. That would be about the size of an esophagus if it were closed.
Yeah.
And that's why it would get stuck right there if you swallowed rather than go through. And that's why she was so concerned and put it there. And then you can just see it start to burn layers through.
I remember when Rich Jaffe did a story, I think it was Rich, on Emmett, when he he had burned it, and Rich did a similar demonstration with a piece of bologna, and it burned clear through it.
Yeah, I saw him. He did the ham. Yeah, it'll do that in just a couple. This was about 3 hours before it did that. That's all it takes.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so good for those parents for getting the word out.
Yes.
If you'd like to, we have a link for you to go to Brianna's FundMe page. They were looking for funeral expenses, but believe it or not, they've already exceeded what they were looking for.
Them,
so good
what
for them.
What a sad, sad story.
Yeah, it really just breaks
Good
your heart.
warning for all of us, though.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Liz.